Tzu Chi Indonesia Chapter immediately sends first disaster relief team from Jakarta to Makassar. Filipino DOTS Observers play an important role in monitoring the cases of tuberculosis. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Lori Chen. Thank you for joining us. After the strong earthquake, which triggered a massive tsunami on the island of Sulawesi, Tzu Chi Indonesia Chapter immediately called for an emergency disaster relief meeting. The first group of 6 volunteers have already arrived in Makassar from Jakarta, where they met up with the local Tzu Chi volunteers to go care for the injured evacuees at the local hospital. At the moment, the disaster relief team is waiting for confirmation from the Indonesian military to head to Palu in order to distribute medical supply tents and other much-needed assistance. Preparing all the medical supplies that are heading to the earthquake-stricken island of Sulawesi, Tzu Chi Indonesia Chapter began mobilizing all disaster relief manpower, immediately receiving the news of the disaster. In order to discuss matters related to disaster relief missions, the CEO of the Tzu Chi Indonesia Chapter urgently called for a volunteer meeting. They plan to first visit and care for the injured that was sent to Makassar.
We heard that around 150 patients, at least to 400 patients, will be airlifted from Palu to Makassar to receive proper treatment, medical treatment. We have Tzu Chi in Makassar. Will be able to provide Quan to them and also to provide assistance, whatever they need.
The strongest hit area by the earthquake is the island of Sulawesi. However, on this island, only the southern city of Makassar has volunteers. Therefore, the initial disaster relief plan is for the volunteers in Jakarta to fly to Makassar and meet up with the local volunteers there first. Then, when Tzu Chi gets the official authorizations, the team of volunteers can then head to the hardest hit area of Palu together.
We are working together with Indonesian military units that provide airlift at least 3 times a day from either Jakarta or Makassar to Palu. So we hope to dock and connect with them so that we can send medical personnel as well as frontline as well as the medical supplies and also the much needed tents and other supplies.
On Monday morning, 6 volunteers have already arrived in Makassar from Jakarta. After meeting up with the local volunteers, they began to care for the injured evacuees in the local hospital. At the same time that the Tzu Chi Indonesia Chapter is in full swing arranging disaster relief details, DaAi TV Indonesia launched a fundraising campaign.
It's not possible for everyone to go help out in the disaster areas. So through events like this, we can sincerely pray for all those who are affected. Everyone can contribute a little bit on their behalf, and accumulated, it can turn into something substantial.
Through a fundraising event like this, it gives everyone an opportunity to help out in some way for the people affected by the disaster. How much money donated isn't important, it's the good thought and compassion behind it that's much more meaningful.
With both palms together, we sincerely pray for all those who are affected by the disaster. We hope all these blessings can be directly sent to the people of Palu. In July of this year, Western Japan was severely affected by torrential rain. In the aftermath of the disaster, Osaka and Tokyo Tzu Chi volunteers went to disaster areas to cook for the flood-affected residents. A small gathering with 2 Jinsebo Dharma masters was held in Osaka, where Dharma teachings were shared.
This is the first time that Dharma masters from the Jinsu abode in Taiwan have come along with local senior volunteers to Osaka. Upon hearing the news, the volunteers in Japan will cherish the chance, inviting Tzu Chi donating members to learn Dharma teachings.
To save the earth, we must start from our minds. Besides protecting the environment, we should also cleanse our minds and spirits. This way, we will be very healthy. Look at us. We have been adopting a vegetarian diet for many years. Although I am over 70 years old already, you can see that I am still healthy.
Environmental protection is a global issue because of the constant risk brought by natural disasters. In July of this year, after heavy rain pounded western Japan, the local Tzu Chi volunteers went to disaster areas to cook for the flood-affected residents. Knowing that the volunteers came from afar to lend a helping hand, a 78-year-old grandma was deeply moved.
Many flood survivors, including the grandma, were deeply touched. On the evening of July 6, as soon as they were notified of the evacuation, they quickly escaped to the shelter. She said if they did not take refuge in a safe place within 2 hours, her life would be taken away.
We hope to reduce natural disasters in every place and increase love and warmth among people. Besides providing comfort and care to the impoverished people, we also hope to provide an opportunity for ordinary people to give back to society and purify their minds.
With the encouragements of Dharma masters, everyone holds each other's hand, vowing to work together to help the less fortunate people.
In June of this year, a Malaysian Tzu Chi volunteer suffered from a stroke when she returned to Taiwan to participate in the 4-in-1 camp. Her life was all of a sudden turned upside down. After returning from Taiwan to Malaysia, the local volunteers who lived near her home went to visit her every day to accompany her through all the physical therapy exercises. In just a few months, her physical activity has improved significantly. With a cane in hand and slow steps, Tzu Chi volunteer Dambili has been working hard since she had a stroke back in June. In order to help Dambili regain her health, Tzu Chi volunteers come to accompany her every day.
I am very grateful they're by my side, encouraging me and give me confidence. They will correct how I walk. Sometimes I will lean toward a certain side more due to weakness on one side.
We have been encouraging her, telling her not to give up on herself. We cheer for her and let her know that it's the golden 6-month period of recovery. We all hope that she will get better soon. We are very joyful seeing her put in so much efforts in the recovery process. She's working hard and has made a lot of progress. This is how she is returning the favor back to us.
Although she's struggling physically, this does not stop her from still actively participating in various Tzu Chi activities.
I really thought that I was such an inconvenience to others. I didn't want to bother anyone, but they kept on encouraging me to get out and go to events. They would offer to give me rides and take me around. I gave it a second thought and agreed. They're just so kind to me.
It's really important for her to attend events and to hear more Dharma teachings. I truly believe that due to her diligence and previous good deeds, she still hasn't lost that purity and initial motivation.
Turning all the blessings into motivation to get back on her feet, she's now more confident than ever to conquer whatever comes her way. In a fast-aging society, Taiwan has been coming up with different community-based methods in combating this rising societal issue. Therefore, Tzu Chi Foundation's team of medical personnel conducted an annual health checkup event at the Santong Jingsi Hall to put the community senior citizens through a variety of fitness testing. This is a good way to measure both their heart and lung functions. 2 minutes of time began. All the elders acted in unison. They quickly lifted their feet up and down, but it didn't take long before they started to be out of breath. This is not a racing game, but it's a way to measure the heart and lung functions of the elderly population.
I've never been out of breath before. This time it was different. Before, however long I walked, I would never be this out of breath.
It's not only exercising the lower limbs, but also muscle strength, coordination, balance, and flexibility. In total, there are 8 different categories to test for. The Tzu Chi Foundation and team of doctors hosted the annual health checkup event for the community seniors at the Santong Jingsi Hall.
It looks like very simple and everyday movements, but if one's range of motion isn't so great, it let us know this person likes to lie in bed and can get sick easily. So we hope through experiences like this, the elderly will learn to exercise more.
At the other end, hearing and vision are also important factors to look at, such as Ms. Hong, thanks to this time's health check, found the reasoning behind her long-term vision problems.
The eye doctor told me that I needed a new prescription since my eyesight has changed. I needed a new pair of glasses and follow-up appointments. I had never gotten my eye check like this before. I am so grateful.
Today is just a start to set up a record. We are hoping in the future to conduct this type of health evaluation services each year. This way, each patient will have a record of their before and after consultations. It's a good reminder for them to keep up with their regular checkups and also changing to a healthier lifestyle.
There are many Tzu Chi community-based care points, such as recycling stations to Jingsi halls. There are more than 400 of these places in Taiwan. All of them are now the best places for the elderly population to interact with one another. In the Philippines, DOTS observers play an important role in monitoring the cases of tuberculosis, or TB. For 6 months straight, they need to go to the TB patients' homes to supervise the patients as they take the medications. In our next report, we meet one such DOTS observer, Amanda. Even after the 6 months treatment has been completed, she still visits the former TB patients once a week to ensure they are in good health.
Saka yung mga pagkain, bawal, huwag mong kakain. Huwag kang kakain ng junk foods.
The lovely child, Angel, has to take 3 different types of medication. Angel's mother died of tuberculosis, or TB. Starting in July of this year, Angel started to show symptoms of cough, congested lungs, and shortness of breath as well.
We brought her to get an X-ray because her mother suffered from TB.
Amanda's biggest mission is to measure the right amount of medications and watch Angel as she takes them. This is all because Amanda is a DOTS observer hired by the Tzu Chi Foundation.
The health center has staff members, but they might not go to the patients' homes. Therefore, they cannot monitor the patients as they take their medications. We send DOTS observers to the patients' homes, and for 6 months, he or she must watch the patients take their medications daily.
She takes the jeepney, the rickshaw, and then walks into the community.
Good morning! Tatlong klase po.
He has to take 3 kinds of medications. 7.5 millimeters of the first kind, 7 millimeters of the second kind, and 80 millimeters of the third kind.
12-year-old Axel also needs to take TB medications every day. After he was diagnosed with TB in May, he waited for 2 months, and finally Amanda came to him with the medication subsidized by Tzu Chi.
Yung unang araw ng pagdating ko sa kanila, malungkot.
I feel saddened when I first came to visit because their family couldn't afford the medication. Although they went to the health center, they were only given the week's worth of meds. After a week, they needed to buy the rest by themselves.
Pagkatapos po ng 1 week, kailangan na raw po nilang bumili. Huwag ka mahiya. Sige na. Huwag ka mahiya. Sige na.
Axel misses his mother, who has remarried. Now that Amanda comes every day, Axel has found a much-needed spiritual support.
I am not afraid of taking the medications. I hope I can recover soon.
Amanda has been doing recycling every Friday, even when it rains. It is her best way to reciprocate Tzu Chi's assistance, as her eldest daughter received Tzu Chi scholarship and is now successfully working after completing school.
Ang pagre-recycling po kasi
I do recycling 1 day a week. I want to help out in other ways. Therefore, when there was the chance to work as a DOTS observer, I jumped on the chance.
When Amanda received Tzu Chi Philippine Chapter's request for her to work as a DOTS observer in 2016, she did not hesitate before accepting the post.
I'm not afraid because I know that someone from above will protect me. Back then, Jie Fang asked me if I wanted to become a DOTS observer. I said yes without any hesitation.
Up until now, Amanda has helped a total of 8 children complete their treatments, and amazed among the first children that Amanda helped monitor. However, her other older brother has also contracted TB.
Mas pinili niya po yung
He insisted on not taking the medication, and the doctor asked us to leave the hospital. The doctor said, if you do not take the medication, just leave the hospital.
they have substandard conditions, they have little food, so the immune system does not recover, cannot support the sickness of the children.
After completing the medical treatment, Amanda still visits to cure children 1 day a week. It is because she is concerned that these children may contract the disease again from the other family members.
Kasi maliliit pa po sila eh.
The children are still young, and I'm afraid other people might have contracted the disease from them. I think this is a very big problem.
Malaking problema po kasi yung pagganun.
Besides monitoring Anname's brother as he continues to take medications, Amanda also helps the family with cleaning and cooking. She's like Anname's second mother. There are 5 other DOTS observers like Amanda who are caring for the 44 children affected in San Mateo.
In Malaysia, Tzu Chi volunteers in the Southern District of Penang have been leading care recipients to do recycling once a month since 2017. About 5 to 6 care recipients participate every time. While protecting Mother Earth, these care recipients have also established a close bond with the local volunteers.
Tzu Chi care recipients in Southern District of Penang have been gathering to recycle once a month since last year. They have developed a loving friendship.
If I stayed home, I would just be sleeping and watching TV. Coming here to do recycling is good for me, and I feel delighted.
I suffer from waist and foot pain and I have diabetes. I believe that our mindset could impact our physical condition. I'd rather come here to help out instead of sitting at home to wait for my body to heal. It's just 2 hours of work. I regarded it as an exercise.
When care recipients join us, we can seize the chance to care for them. We will ask about their recent situation and teach them to do recycling. Afterward, they can chat and have some snacks with others.
The chairman of the South Bay Plaza Community Association provides the venue to support the event.
The main goal of environmental protection is to save our Earth. We should contemplate how we could cherish our precious resources and not be wasteful.
To give is more blessed than to take. The care recipients take actions to protect the environment and show their love for the earth.
Staying in Malaysia, the local government is promoting environmental awareness. They encourage both elementary and junior high schools to establish recycling clubs. Recently, a promotion ceremony was held where many recycling organizations were invited to explain the importance of environmental protection efforts.
The musical instruments are made from recycled items. Teachers from different schools in Kuala Lumpur and Selangor have been invited to the promotion ceremony of school recycling clubs.
I hope that teachers can play an important role in raising children's environmental awareness, as well as encouraging them to keep the environment clean.
The government hopes to promote environmental awareness by encouraging schools to establish recycling clubs. Many recycling organizations, including Tzu Chi, have been invited to give a lecture at the event.
It is very important to promote recycling in school. Students should have the recycling concept since they are young. When they uphold the concept, they will bring the idea home and gradually influence their parents.
We do recycling to save Mother Earth. Although we contribute only little efforts, when we accumulate everyone's contribution, it can become great positive power.
Turning waste into useful items, the volunteers have made the discarded plastic bottles into practical daily tools.
This event makes me realize that everyone is responsible for protecting the environment. As a teacher, I should try my best to let all the students and next generation understand how to save the earth. After participating in this activity, I have been inspired, and I'll bring what I have learned back to school.
Teachers are important roles in the establishment of school recycling clubs. After the promotion ceremony, the government hopes that the idea of environmental protection can be carried out throughout various schools.
South Korea has a relatively high salary for newly graduates. However, housing costs and other factors need to be taken into account, which is why they rank 31st worldwide in the cost of living domain. Furthermore, many worry that the burden on the middle class is steadily increasing, causing much daily stress.
The Mapo Bridge spans the Han River, but because many people choose to end their life here, succumbing to the pressure of everyday life, in 2012 it was renamed Bridge of Life. We can see the handrails have encouraging sentences. One such phrase asks people to look back and remember the good times. But some wonder why there are so many suicides here, and why does this phenomenon appear, and where this pressure comes from. The Korean word tulsa, when directly translated, means success in life, which is the single most important thing to many people when it comes to achieving a successful life. It also means living up to parents' expectations as well as peer pressure.
I often say that Koreans actually let their self-confidence become determined by others. The biggest difference I see between South Korea and Taiwan people is the class system they have. Or simply put, judging someone by their academic qualifications or if they wear famous brands.
It may be history or geography or even colonialism, as all of these factors form a national identity which indirectly form a collective mentality.
In order to become a success in society, I feel that I need to go and work in a good company. Earning a high monthly salary will give me high social status. Koreans are particularly eager to achieve these things. The fastest way to elevate your status in society is to do well in your studies.
Scholars have divided education in South Korea into 4 major stages. In 1945 was the early stage of grassroots education, which later led to the next stage was expanding the number of schools, and then the reform era, which sought to improve the quality of teaching. This continued until 2000, and then the modern era focused on cultivating talented workers.
60년대 이후에 특히 한국이
South Korea from the end of the Korean War to the 1960s was quite poor. In order to seek a better life, parents put their hopes in their children. In my opinion, this is a form of oppression.
하나의 압박이죠.
This 51-year-old father represents the opinion of most Korean parents. For this 19-year-old student surnamed Choi, he faces different pressure that many may not understand.
I study for about 8 hours a day. These 8 hours are all dedicated to study. After class, I go home and eat and then study for another 4 hours.
Many third-year students only eat, sleep, and study. In South Korea, many students face a test that can determine their fate for the rest of their lives. There are 5 major areas with 9 major ranking levels. To get into top schools, students in the top and second ranking have an opportunity.
Where I really want to study is Korean University, which is the most famous program in my country. This is why I want to go there. Now I probably only have a 10% chance.
This pause in his tone indicates that he has been working day and night only for this 10% chance. This seems to be a heavy responsibility for a young person.
Recently, a lot of movies, such as Along with the Gods, The Two Roads, and others, satirize the number of suicides, allowing young people in South Korea slowly realize this situation. This issue has actually been a difficult problem, which has persisted throughout different generations of South Korean society.
There is a psychological theory about an outsider's view is like a mirror reflection image of the individual. To figure out what kind of person we are, be good or evil, success or failure, we may rely too much on others and never be satisfied. This means that no amount of money or fame may be enough. To change the situation, we must begin with education and take necessary steps, beginning with a step-by-step reform of the social system.
The disaster relief team in Indonesia has been preparing all necessary aid supplies for the earthquake and tsunami-affected residents. These include medical supplies, bread, and tents. While in Taiwan, eco-friendly blankets have been boxed. Everything is ready to go at a moment's notice. Let us all pray for a safe disaster relief mission and for all those who are affected. Thank you and see you next time.